The Quarantine Cup is of course brought to you by Nikijo Collectibles. Enter code NOLAN5 at checkout for 5% off sealed and singles on the site. I personally picked up my case of Burst of Destiny for, I believe it was $1,070 after entering code NOLAN5 at checkout. They do more than just sealed though, they do singles. Honestly, probably the most competitive prices on the market for everything at launch. They do also have a little bit of a back catalogue going on with some alternate rares and secret rares that they're updating all the time, so do check them out. And of course, entering code NOLAN5 at checkout makes it all the cheaper. But let's get on into the video. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to NolanTCG, and we are back here for another episode of the Quarantine Cup. I'm once again joined by Logan.
G'day.
And Jake.
Hello.
And we are here for Seb versus Jesse, and I have no idea what they're playing.
I believe Seb's playing Tri-Brigade, and I believe Jesse is playing
Might it be Cyber Dragons?
It might be.
Well, it's either Cyber Dragon or Tri-Brigade. It's one of the two.
Yeah, Jesse's a wild card. He's got like 3 decks he'll probably play from. Seb, Sky Striker, seems correct.
So I believe...
Well, it's either Sky Striker or Mystic Mine, so I'll take fucking Sky Striker. Much as I hate it.
He had a little while where he played Altergeist for a bit, and then he realised that wasn't the thing for him, and now he's back on.
Altergeist, yeah, that was a terrible venture.
Man got engaged back to 1, and he's like, I'm gonna play Altergeist at the YCS.
Yeah.
After playing Striker without engage for the past year.
And playing it decently well too. Like, man was doing well.
Man couldn't out-tune Kingdom.
We see that he gets a Sky Strike Shark Cannon, and he gets to summon a Shizuku, so he's going to be able to send engage if he wants to, or I've seen a lot of builds not sending engage first, just because they don't want to get punished, but doesn't matter, he gets impermed.
So I believe there will be a controversial thing that comes up in this match, and we will discuss it when we get
Hooray!
to it. We will.
I love controversy.
Controversial. Oh, man. Nothing like a bit of controversy to really get the views up, eh?
Nothing like
It
that.
is
We've got a kit, so we've got Tri-Brigade.
We're going to see him go to Almirage, which is going to then get...
We have an Ash on the kit.
Tanky.
But we have the Tanky. Okay, so
Feels good.
in theory he can go for... Well, actually it only searches the one in the archetype, doesn't it? The 1900 attack one, yeah?
Yeah. The Fractal.
But yeah, he sends Fractal, Fractal sends Nurgle, Nurgle gets the search.
Yes.
So we'll see what... Nerval will probably search. If he has another beast or in hand, he'll get Kiraz to then summon. Or if he has Kiraz already in hand, he'll go get a different Tri-Brigade.
Yeah, probably... You'd assume another kit if it wasn't, but he searched the Kiraz, so he must have another name in hand.
Oh, here we go. He could also discard a different beast, but
Another Nurgle.
Interesting hand.
I was thinking about this the other day, not that I want them to get any better than they are, but all it would take for this deck to get better is a Link 1 beast.
Correct. Which is why
The only reason they're making Almirage is to get like kid and stuff off the board, whereas if that was a beast, it would actually then become Link material, so it'd be low-key busted.
This is why we are okay with it not...
Yep, I'm fine with it being this high and no higher.
So, if there's no more interruption, we'll see Jesse go for a Link 2. Or potentially a Link 4.
If Seb set a card though, you would assume it's Widow Anchor.
It could be a Shark... No, it could be a Shark Cannon he got off the Area 0.
Oh, he's gone straight for 4.
But if he had the Shark Cannon, you would imagine... So he gets the 4. So the 4 is going to get linked away. It's going to get him a search.
Yeah,
I'm
the first
assuming
we
he's
got a
using
banish,
this
I'm
to get
assuming.
rid of the back row. Oh no, using it to get rid of the base.
Area 0, okay.
Interesting. I suppose that stops him cycling through things, and I suppose he feels that he may be able to deal with Ray in Grave.
I'd also be thinking that's a Shark Cannon. Shark Cannon in this matchup isn't doing an awful lot.
No. Well, what he could do here, depending on what he feels like Seb has face down. Oh, no, he doesn't have enough material on board. Take that back.
Okay, this is interesting.
Alright, so we've got Bird into the Shizuku. So Ray will trigger in Grave.
Interesting he didn't continue to extend there.
Well, that's going to be the most damage on board, right? Like, that's still your best play, is to go for as much damage as possible.
If he had extended, he could have ended up with the Appaloosa still. And
Oh, maybe he doesn't need to. He's got 2 sets, so he may possibly already have Revolt.
sure, but surely you still want to make Appaloosa. I guess not. Appaloosa just loses.
You can't get to Appaloosa with that board.
You can link into the link 2, search the monster, use the link 2 to summon it from hand. The new link 2 effect, the one you summon effect, banish 2, summon the link 2.
Banish 2 from where?
These two will go in
Wouldn't
the
have
graveyard.
enough.
So he'd link these 2 away into the one that summons one from hand. The link 4, when it goes to grave, would search. That link 2 they summon will summon the one he searches. And then the one he searches. Oh, Imperial Order. That's why. I do Imperial Order. Man,
I've said this multiple times. That it's stuck to Tri-Brigade players' hands. I don't know how, but they open it every time.
This is the first time we've seen Imperial Order in this recording session.
It won't be the last, I promise you.
Won't be the last. It's definitely the first time we didn't miss anything last time.
But you know this will air after that video, yeah?
Yeah, and I'll make sure people know what happened for that video.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, Ben drives slave labor and makes us do things multiple times for no reason.
Yeah.
Constantly.
So we have a standard Hulk play coming from Thingo, but it was striked. So we move on to game 2.
Strike is then met with an immediate scoop.
So it didn't open Thingo, but I suppose Imperial Order is kind of a death sentence against Sky Striker, so...
Hey, so you got like 30 cards in your deck? How about not?
How about 10?
How about you get 3 Ray and 7 hand traps? Sound fair?
Sounds fair to me. I'm still curious about what that face down to Seb's was. Like, surely it would have been useful at some point.
I'm just preparing for when we get to the controversial moment. What
Hey,
will the
it would've been a
controversial
shark
moment
cannon,
be? It could have been a shark cannon.
It
It could have been the Seb's own Imperial Order.
Seb's nothing but shut up, Ben.
That took way too long for you to get that.
Yeah, I wasn't paying a lot of attention, to be honest. So we have Seb opting to go second, which is interesting.
Perhaps he knows that Jesse is always going to get the Imperial Order anyway. So
Yes, and wants
he's going to
slide him
side
back
a
for a
bunch of
removal.
hand traps.
Speaking of which, we see the first one come down on the Fractal.
Now, what will we see as the follow-up? Perhaps a normal summon.
Set Imperial Pass.
Normal summon Rescue Cat.
That would be kind of busted.
Cat is pretty bossy.
But no, we have a set.
Oh, it's going to be one of these games.
We'd hope it's not a Revolt because he has 1 Material Engrave. And thankfully the Link 1 Beast is not available yet.
Flips Imperial Order. Flips Imperial Order.
Now he's letting him view the deck, so he hasn't opened Imperial Order this time.
Or
Which must be nice. We have it followed up by Desires.
what could Jesse have possibly opened? So not
Possibly
seeing...
a strike?
Yeah, like not seeing hand traps come out of the hand though. So he's drawn a handful of cards that aren't normal summons.
Well, possibly they are, because there may be... Oh, you'd assume it's not multiple fractals, though, because he wouldn't have searched Fractal off of Thingo, if so. And we have a whiff off of the Area 0. Seb taking it old school with the mystical space typhoons. Hornet drone. That'll go into a Kagari, presumably, to be able to add back the engage he dumped earlier.
And then we have
Oh no, he's going straight to Hayate.
Arte declares. Jesse, happy to take 15, given that there is an engage already in graveyard. Oh, that does now get access to the Ray.
So we now have a Ray in the graveyard. This is good. Kagari, this is looking good.
Set imperm. Oh, Chain
okay.
Eagle Booster.
Okay, so I believe this is where...
Pause the video, let's chat.
No, this is going to come up. So, the impermanence no longer negates the column. Because it's not a separate effect, the imperm won't negate the column because it didn't successfully negate the Gigari. Now that comes up because the engage is now played into this column. I believe here they are going to play as if the engage is negated.
It's deeply unfortunate for Seb because...
So you're saying because
ruling
it's
is
a
wrong.
Zen, it's not the same
Yeah,
effect?
because it's a then conjunction, it is the same effect. So therefore, if the first effect does not fully apply, because the card has to be negated, the second effect does not apply. So Jesse is now going to come and get a ruling from me, and I'm not going to read impermanence.
Perfect. So Seb lost. Well, I assume he loses. He may not, but he does not resolve engage here because of you.
Yes. He asks for a ruling, and I say, I'll need to read in impermanence, and then Doc says, it's this, and I was like, okay, well then this is the ruling.
So you're passing blame on to Duck.
Yes, I took Doc's word.
And then we have some not great words from Seb.
That's all censored, you can't see that.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah,
Never mind. Seb said nothing.
You can't see that at all.
Part of me thinks it might still be correct ruling.
See, we got into
No,
quite,
we went through this before.
There was
But I'm
quite a
reading
debate
through
in group chat, like
I'm
immediately
reading
after
through
this
the
match,
rulings.
and apparently there is evidence for it to have been ruled either way.
Yeah, I'm now looking at the judges' lounge, and there's 4 different cases of it. 2 ruled one way, 2 ruled the other.
Yes.
You love to see it.
So comment
love
down
to see
below what
consistent
you
rulings.
believe the ruling should be.
Yeah, there's a case to be made for both. I don't know. I'm not the smartest judge, and so I don't want to say a ruling.
Now we have a classic zoo player move of using as minimal zoo as possible to make a stupid card that I think should die. Wait, 1 material zoos? What?
1 material loose.
Maybe he's playing like a really compact engine.
The thing is, though, if he has the Widow Anchor, it was all in vain.
Yep.
This is true. Or Widow Anchor. Well, you know.
Did I not say Widow Anchor?
You said imperm. Which is still very much correct.
Okay, interesting way to play it, though. He seems to be at least faking that he'll be able to, like, basically giving him a choice between what he negates here.
Yeah. That's a great insight.
Interesting that he put the Zeus as well in the Shizuku column. Because, like,
Is that
you could
pertinent?
free him up being able to play a little bit more.
I mean, he can play the XZ anywhere, though.
Yeah, but he would have then 2 link columns, because sometimes you can end up accidentally blocking it. Like, his Almirage would also point to that zone.
Yep, okay. We have a Banish 2 from the Kiras. Oh, no, Banish 4, sorry. Banishing, again, the field spell. Jesse really doesn't like the field spell.
Maybe
I think
he's
at this
just
point we'll probably
going full. Maybe he's just going full ham on the fact that that back row is probably a bluff.
maybe he doesn't seem to be threatened by it at all.
Again, it's
Other than
Seb's
the
own
Zeus,
Imperial
he-
Order.
Stop. But realistically, all Jesse has to threaten the board is the Zeus. Like the rest of it's not doing anything.
Does the Shureg still trigger if it's sent by the Zeus?
Yeah. Just wait. No, it doesn't do anything when it's. Oh, yeah. No, sorry. You're talking about the Link monster. Yeah. Well, it just
Okay.
needs to go to graveyard.
Okay.
He'll get a search if he has to Zeus his own board, but that's about it.
I guess it's not the end of the world. You just kind
Yeah,
of
it's not bad.
wait and see how Seb's going to play out, and then you just Zeus him.
I mean, you care about his back row for your turn, right? You probably just should get rid of all
Alright,
that.
Kagari Part 2, adding back the engage.
Man, I remember when that card was banned. It's crazy.
It's
And
always
Kagari's
like that was
was
last
at 1.
format.
Yeah, and Colossus and Harp Horror are still banned.
Speaking of ban list, I believe there will be a ban list prediction coming out on the weekend.
Wow, that's crazy.
What
You
will I
predicted
ban? What will I not? Stay tuned for next time on Dragon Ball Z.
I think if I had to guess as to what Ben would ban, I'd say Chamber Dragon made to 1,
Oh no,
um,
not my deck.
LP to 0, Striker Dragon to 0.
That LP to 0.
Um,
It's already at 0.
I'm not making any changes there. No changes. Perfect.
Prank Kids place to 0. Prank Kids
sounds like a Zodiac
Dropsies to 1. What else? Raid Raptor Wise Tricks to 0. What else? And a Dragoon ban. Why not? Slap that in there.
Classic NolanTCG ban list.
And Alistair to 4.
Crazy.
Nah, Alistair to 4 would be a brick.
Yeah, it would actually. Not even iron. Not even
What's the
being
ban list
like.
that guy has in Zodiac Ben that we're looking at?
The Slaughter ban list.
Yeah, we need a ban list like that. We need that to become real.
So will Jesse
Ooh,
Zeus?
we have.
The Widow has dropped.
No, I assume not.
It's not really doing anything.
I mean, he like links it off for Zeke, and then you still get the search.
This could just be bait, yeah. Oh no,
No.
he is gonna Zeus. It has forced
There we
it.
go. It's
I
Chain
mean,
Zeus.
oh,
There's the double
Chain Zeus
win.
and Widowmaker.
Punished.
He
Absolutely
fell.
punished.
He fell for the bait. Had he waited, because he
I
would
mean,
have
if
had
you
to have
wait-
activated the second Widow Anchor after that.
Well, probably not. If he waits, he links that off into.
Well, now he
the
also takes
Zeke.
the Omen, doesn't he?
Yeah, he takes both.
Yep.
Now he's in a much worse position if he had just held it.
Any summon his game?
I think so.
Yeah,
And it's a tuner as well.
that's gonna.
Yep, he's going to go into Thingo plays, which could be really punishing if he ends up having a Nibiru in hand.
You would surely assume he started that out for game 2, though.
You'd think so against Sky Striker, but who knows?
Well, here we go.
Oh, well, hang on. That's not an Effect Veiler.
That's not an effect veiler indeed.
I mean, he just makes.
So
Right?
he would have to go Link 4 using the Shriek, and
Unicorn.
no, if he just goes Link 4 with the Shriek, it'll still be access code, and he can target the Shriek in Jesse's graveyard. And because of the way that access works, I think
Unicorn.
he doesn't need to make Unicorn.
Doesn't need to make access code to a card.
Well, he does. It needs to be damage on board, and if he's doing
He
the
has
house
game
play,
on board.
Yeah, a unicorn is game.
This man's high.
The unicorn shuffles back the Keras and then the 3 attack for game. Oh.
Oh, hang on.
Well. That.
Oh. Who? What? Maybe he's now going to the lead and he's like, oh wait, this is an effect veiler.
Yeah, oh gosh.
if he links off the Shuriq, that would then allow... That would make the access code 63 as well. That'd be cool to see.
True.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. It would be a massive access code. And because access
But
code
he
gets
also
priority
needs to
because
use-
it's Seb's turn,
He also uses most of his board for that. Instead, he's going to use the Zeus. That's also very reasonable. Doesn't give him a resource. If he doesn't win here, he just gets the Link 4 back.
Also,
Jesse-
Jesse only has 65.
oh, there is that.
Yeah, that's a factor that is key to our maths. Okay, I think if you're Seb, you're definitely siding out the Imperial Order that he had set that entire game.
Yeah, you'd almost question why he had it.
Yeah, you would question it. He's played it game 1 and game 2.
I mean, didn't we find out that it was a Widow Anchor?
No, it was definitely Imperial Order.
Shut up, Ben. So Jesse, unsurprisingly, go first. Will the Imperial Order be stuck to his hand?
We're about to find out.
He has opened Tanky both games, so he could open another.
We've seen the
Oh,
fractal.
now we're
straight
going
up.
straight for Fractal.
Will we see an Ash? We will not see an Ash.
Fractal searching the Keras. Ooh, Rescue Cat.
I
If
think
you were Jesse, though, would you have gone the Rescue Cat first? Because now he's like already sent a lot of stuff to Grave that won't now trigger.
Oh. I believe he probably activated the fractal to see if there was an Ash. And then when he didn't see the Ash, he's then all some of the cat, but then now he's walked into an Effect Veiler, so...
Do you have the Keras summon? Does he have a second negation in hand?
Strangely, Jesse seems to be going into the Link 4 constantly. So, I wouldn't put it beyond him to go into it again here.
A lot of players have been going first and then using that to link off, just so that they get like a resource for their linking.
Okay. I just feel
And they
like...
still get everything banished for the revolt.
Okay.
It looks like this time around we have a link 2, so either Bearbrum or Ferragit.
We see a Bear Brom.
We have a
We're
Bearbrum.
going to get that revolt.
And you'd assume he's going into... Apple Wizard doesn't do a great deal against Seb, to be honest. But also, what else has he got to go into? Oh, he's going for the Appaloosa.
So we're going to have Appaloosa, we're going to have a revolt. And then Jesse needs to ensure he does not summon back his Bear Brom off his revolt here. Setting 2, he's managed to set Seb's own Imperial Order against him. How will Seb recover from this?
Oh, we have a Jamming Waves coming down on the set. Imperial Order! I told ya, it's stuck to the hand.
I apologize if I popped the mic there.
Oh, we have a Widow Anchor coming down the Appaloosa, so they can at least play through that.
The scenes.
I told you all, they open it all the time. Summon of Rose, but somehow Jamming Waves is still on the board.
Classic
Jimmy
Jamming
was
Waves.
bad now.
No, it was negated, so it doesn't continue to the graveyard. It's actually the real way that you beat
We have a Revolt coming down.
Damn, Revolt, that's crazy.
And Seb looking like he scoops because he's opened a handful of spells against Imperial Order.
What a fun
There we go.
card.
Another match taken by Tri-Brigade Imperial Order.